We've got another POV tutorial today, man. This is gonna be a pretty simple cut, man. We're just gonna go ahead and run the 1.5 here all the way across the top. And yeah, we'll just make sure that we're keeping all the hair being cut consistent. But the goal with this haircut, guys, is we are gonna give him a nice solid mid fade, nothing too high, nothing too low. Just a nice fade that's gonna complement his head shape and, you know, with that fade, nice and blurry. So I'm gonna be showing you this fading system is gonna be one that you can use for pretty much every type of haircutting style, right? High fades, low fades, tapers. I'm gonna walk you through this process, man. You'll see this fading system used all the way across my channel, man. So if you guys enjoy it, if you like the process, if you like the tools and the POV tutorials, definitely like, share, and subscribe, man. We're just trying to stay consistent and give you guys some education, man. So look, we're good, pretty much good with the 1.5 there. For me to set in the bald line, right? This is gonna be fade is gonna be skin tight at the very bottom. But I don't necessarily like to put a super skin tight line, you know, at the bottom of the fade. I actually like to start my fade here with the clipper, right? I'm gonna start here with the clipper all the way closed because the line's a little bit easier to take out when I put the bald length with the clipper closed. So here we are, clipper closed all the way. I'm gonna go ahead and run this all the way around, guys. Now, let's run it right up here to the corner also. We're not gonna be keeping the corners and the C-cups. You know, we're gonna fade them out with this haircut here. So if I start right there, this clipper all the way closed right here, right? That's gonna give me a reference line that I could refer to, like that's my bald line, that's where my fade is gonna end. I wanna go ahead and give myself some space here to fade. If you're more comfortable using the clipper all the way open with no guard, you definitely can do that. They're both pretty much the same lengths. But I'm gonna go here with my half guard closed. Very similar lengths. I just feel like the half close kind of just makes it a little bit easier to fade at the very end. And maybe it'll make sense as we get here towards the end here. But let's go ahead and make some space. Gotta make some space for this fade to get blurry. All right, so half guard closed all the way around. You can definitely apply pressure at the bottom. If you soften it up a little bit at the top of that line, you'll be making it a little bit easier for yourself at the end here. Okay, so here we are done now with this half closed. So let's break through this bottom line. Now here's what I'm gonna do. With the clipper closed, right? I'm gonna break through that line that I put in at the very bottom. As I open my lever more, see, look, here's a notch open. I'm gonna break through that line just a little bit more. I'm gonna make sure that I go higher and higher in this blend, but the phrase I like to use is I'm coloring within the lines. I'm not gonna, by the time that I'm all the way open, I'm not gonna touch or surpass this half line that I put in. I'm doing my best to blend these levels together, but I'm working very precisely to not bring that half line up. I place that strategically so that way it could be a nice, soft, easy line to fade out. Clipper open a little bit. You know, stand under that line. Trying real hard not to break through it. So you can fade up, you can fade down. You can start close to open, you can start open to close. You know, whatever works for you. You'll be seeing me do both methods here. All right, and again, let's break through that line. I want to soften that up at the very bottom, just a little bit more. We could just do some lever play to go ahead and completely erase that bottom line. I'm really not trying to push that fade higher with that half line that I put in there. But let's start thinking ahead. Okay, this line is blurred out, or almost blurred out, right? Once it is faded completely, how can we work our way down? If from here to here, right? Now that's the line that we have to erase. That's our main mission. So if I did the toe top with the 1.5 close, what is the next level lowest after the 1.5 guard with the lever closed? The next lowest guard it's gonna be the one guard. And lever open, because that means that it's gonna be the longer length. So we got the one guard, lever open, and I'm gonna run it right up about here. See, I'm gonna pretty much be going up off the head because I want a real nice, soft blend. Coming all the way up. So here's the one open. And I'm really not worried about it creating another line, another hard line, because as you guys saw when I was putting that in there, with just like running the comb of the guard through the hair, you see it wasn't really picking up a whole lot of hair. It's gonna be a very soft, very gradual transition. So here's one open. Let's lower it a little bit. One halfway close. And we're stacking guards, man. We're stacking all these different cutting lengths. I'm almost going as high as I was with the lever open. Just a tiny, tiny little bit lower. So I've done everything that I can here with the one guard, with the halfway close. Here we are all the way closed now. Notice that it definitely is starting to soften up the line. The fade is not complete, but it is close to it. So look, we're pretty much getting close to doing everything that we can with this one guard. So what's the next lowest length? The next lowest length below the one guard is the half guard, right? So let's go ahead and take this off. Now we can put that half guard on. If I start open, now remember, that line we put in at the bottom was with this closed. So if we start open and repeat the same process, let's fade everything that we can with this lever open. Notice I start to, I don't know if you can see from here, but my hand is here and I'm rotating the chair as I'm moving this guard. That's the half open. Let's go down about halfway. Same thing, I'm rotating my chair because I really like to use my clipper almost as a typewriter, right? You're clicking through the keys, and you've got the paper, you've got it kind of sliding left and right as you're using it, so you don't have to move around so much. So here's all the way closed, right at the bottom. And honestly, the fade should be pretty blurry right now. Because if you remember, we started this line here with the half guard closed. We started the fade with the half guard closed. I was very careful. I tried to be as careful as possible not to break through the line that I set with that half guard. Right, so now that I faded down all the way here, it should match up pretty perfectly, man. We'll come back at the end for a little bit of detailing, a little bit of lever work. We're gonna start fading out this beard. All right, now you can see that this beard is already like laid down pretty good to a nice little length. But if I start with this here, now look, with this no guard open, if I elevate with the lever open and I kind of just give like a very soft feathering motion, that could kind of let me catch a few hairs just to slowly transition the sideburn area, right? Catch a few hairs, just, little by little, very soft feathering motion. And after you're done like this, that's the longest length that the clipper could cut. Now we could maybe start going like this and then eventually flat, right? And so you're almost like fading different lengths in different areas. Even though it's just the lever open, but the tilt control that you have on your clipper, that can kind of help you graduate through all these different lengths. Of course, after you already hit, flush, you're flush with the lever open, then you just remain at the flush position, playing with the lever. All right, we're gonna run it back one more time on this side for this sideburn. Remember, I'm tilted, I'm elevated. Freehand motion. Picking up just a couple of hairs. I'm a little bit more flush, not all the way flush, moving my way up a little bit higher. Catch a couple of hairs down here. Now I'm flush. And now that I'm flush, I stay flush while closing the lever as I move my way a little bit higher into the beard fade, or into the sideburn. All the way closed. Now here's the cool thing about why I like to fade how I did. You're like, oh, a lot of people think it's lazy to leave this darkness here at the bottom, right? So take my trimmer. Look at how seamless this transition is gonna be. Since the trimmer is just a little bit shorter, like the length of the trimmer is shorter than the clipper all the way closed with no guard. I mean, that should be a super easy, super flawless blend. Like, you know what I'm saying? You just run this right up to that length, you're good. Right up to that line, and you're good. We're gonna follow this up with a shaver line. Not even a shaver line, actually, you know, really just balding out the bottom here with a shaver. Let me show you guys what that process looks like. But you kind of see how efficiency works. Like, you can kind of hear how my brain is working as I'm doing this cutting. Right? Like, I'm working on this step, but I'm strategically planning what the next step is gonna be. I already know this is the area where that transition is happening, right? From trimmer to clipper close. So now I just gotta stay a little bit lower than that with the shaver. Start going down with the grain if you need to. Then go against the grain. Since I know this is like the transition area from clipper to trimmer to shaver bald, I can kind of lay it down just a little bit here with this with the foil shaver. Going down with the grain. And then once I notice it start to tighten up a little bit, then we can use the corner of the foil shaver, right? Just to get it a little bit more bald. I flip the shaver in preparation for this. Now we can just run that shaver all the way up. All right, so let's keep on working on this transition. We'll do that same step. Y'all see that gradiency from here to here? That's what our goal is, all the way around. So now guys, we're gonna go ahead and get into the edge up now. I like to have this ready, you know, as I edge up, right? Now my client's fairly fair-skinned, right? So I'm gonna use a blend of the beige and of the white. I'm gonna have that ready on my glove so I can pick it up as I line them up here. Now look, we're gonna go ahead and start here with this vertical bar, okay? So if we just pick up a little bit of that, follow that line. Now, the reason I like to do this, not even 100% necessary, but if you are a fan of these enhanced looking edges, this is gonna trim the hair, it's gonna apply the enhancement, and it's gonna spread it all in one step. So that way I don't have to spend extra time later. I don't have to spend extra time later, like, you know, basically drawing it on him to have that contrast. So same thing here. It's not only for the enhancement purposes too, guys. Like, I genuinely enjoy lining up with this because it kind of brightens up the edge a little bit so I could kind of see my work a little bit easier. It definitely makes it easier for me to work with. You can see we have some light spots. We have to find that like perfect middle ground, right? So if I were to line them up, if I were to leave this and not push them back at all, I mean, you know, there would be like not much there. So we got to find that middle ground. All right, so I'm going to remove that piece of the widow's peak. So y'all can see as this lineup is coming together, the only quote-unquote pushback that's happening is literally this section of the widow's peak. There's no hair to the left of it, there's no hair to the right of it. So I would consider that a professional pushback, right? Like, some people are gonna call it that, but honestly, it's just doing what you gotta do to get an even line, you know? Let's go ahead and concentrate on the other side now. So what we can do is, we can just take a good look at how this looks, and now we have to replicate that over here. So we're gonna return our middle point. Yeah guys, look, that essentially is the majority of the cut, man. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the beard. Just get a little bit of beard action going on here, man. But as soon as we're done with that, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys these finished clips, man. And you know, if you guys like the trimmer, if you like the trimmer, the clipper, you know, I have links for that. The links are gonna be in the description of the video. You know, I got discount codes there too for any other supplies that you guys may need. I appreciate you guys, man. Let's go ahead and look at this beard work, and then let's enjoy those finished clips.